Serving Calgary Flame and newly minted captain. Actually, not so new. It was the end of September, but new to us because it's our first visit of the year to Calgary. Here's Mikael Backlund. Look, close, tough loss tonight, but even with it, it's been quite a turnaround for the Flames. Earlier in the week, you were briefly back in a playoff spot. Greg.
What was it, Michael? I know you don't like. Nobody likes to talk about what happened behind closed doors, but the team was struggling. They're adapting to a new coach. As a captain, how did you address that?
Well, I think we all just stepped up our game a little bit and felt like we kind of out of sync a little bit early on, and bringing those young guys up, it brought some energy to our team, and it also solidified some lines for us and deep pairings, and I think that helped our team to play better. So I think it was everyone stepped in different ways, and Husk and his team has done a great job pushing us the right way too.
Michael, you of course know Elliotte Friedman.
Yes,
right.
I do know.
Hockey's #1 journalist, not afraid to ask the tough questions, and so tonight, Elliotte would like to know. Questions coming here. Do we have it?
That's his best work. That's his best work, actually.
Okay. Well, there it is. Ask him how he parts his hair so beautifully. Elliotte would kill for that clean line.
Yeah, my barber here in Calgary do a great job cutting my hair, and then I just take my time brushing him.
All right. Well, look, with this picture, I would suggest that Elliotte has more to worry about than the part in his hair.
Yeah, that's not his best look, maybe.
To be fair, that was just around the time of the end of the pandemic, and I think Elliotte sent that out as proof of life.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the revival. Much of it can be traced to what I would say probably was your first major test as captain, and that was to quiet the noise that resulted from public discussion about contract negotiations, a trade demand, a lot of noise early in the season. How did you bring quiet and focus?
Well, we talked about it even before that, not to stir things up in media and keep everything within the walls, and I think that's an important thing, to keep everything inside the locker room and be a tight group, and have each other's backs, and I think that was a big key. And then when there were some trade talks over there, me and Huss discussed how we should approach it, and we decided he was gonna talk about it there in Montreal, and that's what he did, and I think that was good to sort things out, and from then we've been playing better.
General Manager Craig Conroy's gone on the record as saying that you are not afraid to have tough discussions with your teammates. So as team captain, what is your approach when you see a player that you know has more to give?
Well, it can go different ways. Sometimes a player needs a little talking, a little help, to boost him up a bit, or sometimes he needs to hear it, and I try to find that balance and try to read each individual and what they need, and same thing in the big group, in the room and everyone's there. We got to keep everyone kind of accountable and live up to our standards that we have here, the way we want to play, and I think that's a big key for success.
We all have mentors, and along the way up, is there a name or two that's helped you get prepared for being a captain of a hockey club in the National Hockey League?
Well, I got to grow up here in Calgary playing with Jerome. He was a great leader, and same with Robin Regier. The two of them were really good leaders in different ways, and I really enjoyed playing with both of them. And then I got to spend a lot of time under Gio as our captain, and same thing there. Just a great teammate and leader, and all three of those guys led the right way by playing really hard and competing, and when they had to say something in the locker room, they did, and they stepped up in different ways, and that's what I liked about them.
Hey, that video suggests that you and Jerome McGinley clicked a few times during your time as teammates. Let's get to that day in late September. Press conference here at the Saddle Dome. Craig Conroy started by announcing your 2-year extension, and then for good measure, he threw in the fact that you had just been named captain of the Calgary Flames. Your wife, Frida, Oliver, and Tilly were there to make the announcement even more special. A lot of people felt, Michael, that you were the de facto captain of the Flames since Mark Giordano was lost in the expansion draft. So has anything changed for you?
A little bit at first, just a lot of thoughts, and trying to sort out what it's like to be the captain. But I had some good talk to people around me, support people, and told me to just be myself, and and with a couple teammates too that I've been playing with, that I'm close with, they told me just, you've been the captain pretty much for the last 2 years. Just do the same thing. Don't do anything extra. And it's always good to hear that feedback from some teammates. And so after a few games, I kind of felt more comfortable with it and solidified my game a little bit more. And but I felt a little different wearing the C. Even though I could feel the last couple of years. I wanted to take a bigger step, guys leaving for different reasons, and I felt like I had to take on some more leadership role. And but yeah, when you get that C in the chest, it feels so different.
With the Zadorov trade, 3 of your teammates are pending free agents. You'd have been the 4th Flame to be playing out his contract had you not taken the 2-year extension. Greg,
how is it in that regard in terms of your feeling now that you got it over with? And with your teammates, that always unknown, that it's very difficult. I played my option out as well. It's not an easy thing to do. How have you been able to deal with your teammates, and how have they done with it so far? It seems like they're getting a little more comfortable with the situation.
Yeah, I think that was a factor early on. There was just a lot of noise, like we talked about earlier, and I think that's settled a little bit now. And I really enjoy playing with Z. And when you come out requesting a trade, though, it makes a little too much noise, and to be settled too helps the team. And now we can just play hockey. I know there's still 3 guys or UFAs.
He's right behind us there with his black Stetson on.
Oh, wow. Well, look at that.
It's all good, too.
Hiding. Don't worry. I just said I really like you, so don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, it's part of the business. It's part of the business, and he knows it too. And, we had a good talk, too, me and him, and after the trade request, so it's all good. But yeah, there's still 3 guys that are very important for our team, and things will play out the way they will, and we'll see what happens if they're gonna stay or not. And but until then, they're a part of the team, and we're just gonna go to war together.
Totally.
You're at 932 games played as of tonight, so you're set up to become just the 2nd player ever to play 1,000 games as a Calgary Flame. The other one, of course, Jarome Iginla. What would it mean to you to join his company?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be, very, very special. That was also one of the reasons, I decided to stay here to play 1,000 games potentially. For one team, it's special in that not a lot of guys have done. A lot of guys have done it, but in the big picture, the percentage is pretty small. So that would be very, very special, and I'd be very honored to, be right behind Jarome.
Here's a before and after picture. On the right is Mikael Backlund, the current captain of the Calgary Flames, and the before on the left is from 18 years ago, and you can explain where it's from.
Yeah, from Max AAA tournament. We just won the gold medal.
Right, Max tournament.
We were champions, but I guess we have medals on,
And you led Sweden to the tournament championship. Who would have known back then that you'd become the longest-serving Calgary Flame and team captain?
Yeah, I never thought of it then. I thought it was just really cool to come over here in North America to play.
First trip, right?
It was the first trip over. Yeah, it was awesome, and really enjoyed my time here in Calgary. And what a great experience to stay with some billets too, and get to learn some more English and lifestyle over here, and everything was just great. It was a great tournament, but I never expected myself to be where I am today.
So that does take us back to how your career with the Calgary Flames started, and it wasn't exactly a fast start. What do you remember about what then coach Brent Sutter said to you after the 2011-12 season? Or was it Jay Feaster? It's one or the other, right?
Yeah, I had an end of the year meeting with Brent, like you normally do have an end of the year meeting with a coach. It was a tough meeting. It was a pretty long meeting and tough, and he was just straight up honest with me what it takes to be an NHL player, a regular player in this league, and what I need to learn. And it wasn't easy. It was hard, but I took that, I think, the right way. And later that summer, we did some contract negotiations with Jay Feaster, and once the deal was done, he called me and said, this is kind of make or break it for you, or not kind of, this is make or break it for you next season. And it was true, and that's what I needed to hear, and I just grabbed onto it.
All right, let's talk about your social conscience, which is getting a lot of exercise here in Calgary and was appropriately recognized at last summer's NHL Awards.
In class, the award goes to Mikael Backlund.
We as professional athletes live a privileged life, and we have a great opportunity to give back. A little gesture from us can be a big thing in someone else's world.
So the King Clancy Award goes to the player who best leads on and off the ice. And I loved your quote, little gesture from us can be a big thing in someone else's world. It's easy to say, but you act on it. Why?
It's always a hard question to answer. I just always had a drive to do it. And it started when I was young. And then, I came here to Calgary, and I could tell right away the owners and the organization right away, how important charity work and community work to be part of the community here in Calgary is. And I could tell right away when I stepped in the locker room, pretty much all the players were involved, and especially the leaders of the team had their own charities and were very involved in the community. So they set the tone and the standards for me.
All right, so to your most recent charitable endeavor, tell us about the black tie dinner that you and your wife Frida hosted here in Calgary on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it was great. We really appreciate all our teammates for being there, and the better halves. A lot of the management, and Husky was there. So we had a very special night. It was an emotional night, but it was a lot of fun and a really good time. And we couldn't believe we raised that much money. We were hoping maybe $100,000 because last time in 2017 we raised $80,000. So we're hoping to beat that, and to beat it with $100,000, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, $180,000 raised for ALS research. The cause is near and dear to both yours and Frida's hearts because Frida lost her mother to ALS, her mother Anne, and of course, it is a major cause here in Calgary as the Flames assistant GM Chris Snow fought the disease for 4 years before he passed away at the end of September. I can only imagine how you and Frida felt watching Chris's battle, and in fact the battle of his family. There they are, Kelsey, Cohen, and Willa.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a part of Frida's life when her mom passed, but she's told me a lot of her experiences and how tough it was, and to see Snow and his family going through it, it was really hard, but also, encouraging to see how strong they were through the whole time and how much money they raised, and how they were not gonna go away. Just, Chris was gonna fight it till the end, and which he did, and I'm amazed the way he fought the disease, and very sad that he passed away this fall. It was a really heartbreaking funeral, but it was really sad to see what his family had to go through, and him, of course, too.
Steve Lawrence asks, what kind of impact did Chris Snow have on you as a person?
Well, that smile was just a great smile, and he was such a great human. Over the years, he got a bigger and bigger role, and he at the end when he was sick, he would text a little bit, and I remember during the COVID there too, he would, they would send out some stuff that we can work on, and I would just talk a little bit on text with Chris, what I can improve on in my game, and how I can find it on the video and stuff. So, but that smile is something we'll always remember, and the fight he took towards the ALS is something you always remember too. So it's just a great human being that fought all the way till the end.
And then Special Olympics, you're a longtime ambassador for that cause, and you have more than a passing interest in Special Olympics. What is the connection?
Yeah, my cousin back home in Sweden, she has Down syndrome, and she's such an amazing girl, and I enjoy every time I get to see her. I got to see her this summer, which was great. I hadn't seen her for a couple of years, I think it was, or a year or so. So it was great to catch up with her this summer, and I always enjoy seeing her, and it's always great to come out of Special Olympics events and practices. Those are the days or nights you get the most hugs in your life. It's just so amazing how excited they are and how loving they are. And then the Kids Cancer Care Foundation, you're also a champion of that cause. So obviously, Michael, something has helped shape your life as a compassionate, caring soul. And so I will ask you about the loss of your best friend, Victor Engstrom, to cancer at age 25, and how that changed you. Yeah, it was very tough to see him battle. He battled so hard.
He was an international bandy player for Sweden.
Yeah, he was very good, and he played he passed away July 1st, 2013, and he played that season before, even though he was going through chemo. And you can see in the picture there, looks a little skinny. He was always skinny, but you can tell there. But yeah, he was a warrior, playing through, battling cancer, and he never gave up. And he was just such a good person, and he thought, from him, after he passed, I just learned to enjoy life a little more. Like, he had such a good balance about being serious about his sport, but also enjoyed life, and that's something I took away from him, and something I was pushing myself to be a little more relaxed in life and enjoy a little bit more.
Sometimes out of tragedy, something beautiful can happen, and that would be you and Frida. Explain.
Yeah, so, growing up, our families knew each other. Frida's mom was really close to Victor's mom, and my mom was also close to Frida's mom. So we had that connection, and me and Victor's family were close. So we, going back, growing up, I met Frida a few times in my life, but she was always so much younger than me. And, at Victor's funeral, she was there, of course, to support, and it's a tough loss for her and her family as well. And I saw her there, and then a couple of months later, Frida and my sister went out for a coffee that turned into a full night dinner, and then it was an easy way for me to ask her how that night went. And
you had to weigh in then. All right.
Smart thinking.
Yeah. So after that, I texted her, and then we just kept staying in touch that season and started dating once I got back to Sweden.
All right, and let's fast forward now to the Backlund family. There's you and Frida, of course, and now there's also daughter Tilly and son Oliver. Have they figured out yet that their father is the captain of the Calgary Flames?
Tilly has a little bit. She calls me something, the captain, and but Oliver's still trying to figure it out. Today, actually, he touched the stick and played a little bit of hockey, mini sticks hockey before I left. He hasn't really picked up hockey at all yet.
How about golf? Maybe.
I tried that too. I tried soccer. He's not picking it up. He just loves playing tag right now. And
mini sticks will be coming, believe me.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time.
I know. We're gonna
tell us about Frida's book, Guardian Angels. It's her first book, and there's a message in it.
Yeah, no, it's another honor to her mom, in the memory of Anne. And it's tough to tell kids why your grandma isn't here, where is she, and through this book, it's a way for Frida to tell a little bit, where Grandma Anne is. And she's always had, she's always been Frida's guardian angel. And I think the book is really good, and she's really proud of it.
Is there another one coming?
Not, I said no right now. We'll see. We'll see if she wants to do another one.
Alberta Christie Girl asks, would you like to retire a Calgary Flame? I think we know the answer to that. And if you did, do you see you and your family calling Calgary home?
We love it here. It's home right now, but Västerås is also our home in Sweden. And once I'm done over here, retired in NHL, we'll move back to Sweden. But we'll always come back to Calgary. Calgary is such a special place for us. And, at that time, I'll be able to enjoy the mountains as well, do a little skiing or snowboarding. So that'll be a cool part of the next life.
How's it going with the Swedish royal family, and are you spending any time at Prince Daniel's home?
No, I haven't seen him since we won the World Championships in 2018, but I thought it was funny or great that he actually remembered seeing me in 2011 on the airplane there when we randomly met each other, and he sat down next to me, asked if I could switch seat because they wanted the security guy to be next to them, and then he's like, yeah, we'll change up when we get up in the air. And then we started talking. I told him I was a hockey player. He's like, oh, really? Let's just sit there and talk all flight. The security guy can be in the back. So then we chatted most of the flight. And when I saw him again in 2018, he remembered me. I thought it was pretty cool.
And we got some pictures here, I think, from the 2018 reception at the Royal Palace. And this was, as you say, after Sweden won the World Championship. So then Daniel has not called and said, hey, Mike, come on over. We'll have a few beers and watch the game.
No, he hasn't.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I know. But maybe in the future I get to go over there again. We'll see.
Okay. All right. The audit into your personal life is complete. Let's get back to hockey before we conclude here tonight and get your take on the bravery and the courage of one Chris Tanev. Greg.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know what the guys think in the room, but I mean, it is remarkable the way he blocks shots. And this the other night, I couldn't even watch it. I had to tell the truck that's enough. I mean,
yeah, that hurts, but yeah, he's such a warrior. He doesn't even think twice about that. He just does it, and he's it's been a pleasure to play with him now for a few years, and
I bet.
he's such a warrior and battles so hard every night and sticks up for his team and does whatever he has to, to help the team win.
That was really hard to look at when it occurred. A little bit easier now that we know he only escaped with only 12 stitches to his chin, and the few teeth he has left were not affected. But what's it do for the psyche of a team when you see a player sacrifice like that?
Yeah, well, it brings a lot of energy on the bench. Everyone we're a little scared, hoping he's okay. And we got the word that he was okay, but then, it just brings so much energy to the group, and, we find a way to come back and win that game, and that was part of that block for sure.
Question from Josh. What does it mean to you and the guys to see Oliver Kylington back?
It was great. Not as a teammate, more as a friend. I got to know him over the years here, and we become good friends, and it was great to see him back in the locker room here and back on the ice, and just I've seen him outside the rink a little bit while he's been here in Calgary a couple times, but it was great to see him here at the rink having so much energy and being so positive and doing so well. So it was great seeing him back.
Yeah, I think in September he went quite public with why he'd been away. There you go.
See, buddy.
Nicely done, Nikita. Thanks for dropping by. Oliver Kylington was quite public in the fall about why he was away. He took time off to address some mental health issues. What kind of respect do you have for a player when he is confident enough to be that public about his struggle?
Yeah, it shows a lot of courage. It's not an easy thing to do, but he had to do, or he did what he had to do, and I think that's really important. If you're not mentally healthy, it's going to be hard to play in NHL and perform in this league. So, I really hope he finds a way here to come back and play, and hope he finds that fire again and he wants to play. So, but yeah, it takes a lot of courage to do what he did, and I'm proud of him for getting help, and it's great to see him again.
All right. Well, this has been your second appearance on After Hours. You were a guest on the program in February of 22. The opposition that night were the Minnesota Wild. It was a scrappy game that took over 3 hours to play, and I think we only had about 7 minutes with you. So we were delighted to have a lot more time with you tonight, although it might have felt to you like a 3-hour interrogation. Didn't it? It always does with Scott.
All good. Appreciate you guys having me here.
All right, Michael. Thanks for being on the program.
Yeah, again, thanks for having me.
There's Mikael Backlund, the captain of the Calgary Flames, longest-serving Flame at that. Back to tidy up at Scotiabank Saddledome in a moment.